Hey everybody. So my part two, talking about faith and religion and God. And I know this is gonna shut a lot of people off. I got it. I understand. Right? And I was talking about the Catholic, or I was talking about my faith. Right? So, for me, I've lived by faith my entire life. Yes. Am I not perfect? Absolutely. Am I any better than anybody else? Not. Right? When it comes to anything with my faith, my speaking, going out every day and doing my work at the job that I have, anything else, I try to walk by faith. When I'm dealing with people, absolutely, right? I don't care what race you are, I don't care what creed you are, I could care less where you come from. If you're a different religion of me and you want to help me understand you better, absolutely. Let's sit down and have a talk. Please come sit, right? If you believe in something different than I do, please come and sit so we can understand each other from where we are at. Absolutely. Right? I've talked with Buddhists, I've talked with Mormons, I've talked with Methodists, I've talked with Protestant, right? Even your new faith guys and gals, right? You're evangelistical, because the only way that you can understand it, I mean, the whole uh, 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 terrorist from a lot of your Asian cultures. I've even talked with some of them to better understand their religion, their beliefs. Right? I'm partially Native American. I have some Native American in me, so now I have that. And we all know that Native American, they believe in Mother Nature. They believe in the animals. They believe in totem totem poles. They believe in how to use natural healing versus uh, other methods of healing. Right? They live off the lay of the land. They have for centuries before the U.S. Army started coming through and killing them wholesale and doing what they were doing and taking their land away from them and all that. Um, which more controversy. I'm not trying to cause controversy. Little history lesson along with some faith. Something different than what everybody's hearing and doing on here. So we have so many different heritages, cultures, backgrounds, religions, faiths, beliefs, everything in the United States especially, and it's becoming more of a thing pretty much everywhere you go. Even the Muslim faith. I even took it upon myself that when I was over in Iraq, I asked one of the locals that was working with the Americans. I asked if I can get a Quran, right? So I could read it to understand it, right? Now, a true Muslim, for instance, is peaceful, right? Not like the zealots that we've been dealing with for the last what 30 years, 20 years, whatever it's been. But a true Muslim is peaceful, right? They more or less believe the same thing as a regular Christian does. The only thing is different is they, right? But to them, Allah is the same as our God. Same thing, just different way of putting it into action, right? The same thing with the Jewish faith, right? Mormon is a little bit different. Uh, they kind of go off the whole uh, very distant past way of looking at where they can have multiple uh, spouses, and that's a little bit different. Um, a little bit different, but um, definitely something to understand. The Amish folks. I lived out in New York for a little while, and so uh, I would always buy home cooked, homemade goods from the Amish folks. And so I would ask them questions to better understand, right? Everybody from a different heritage, culture, background than me, I will sit down if I can. If I can. And talk with the folks and try to better get more knowledge so I can be more open minded, right? Because if you don't know, you don't know, right? That's where a lot of the one sided thinking comes from is you just don't know, but you don't have the ambition to learn it. That's where it is. But faith is different for everybody. Now, I'm not talking about if you're a part of a cult or if you're part of some secret society type situation. That's a whole different animal, and there's so many of those out there. But I'm talking about faith, trusting in what you can't see, even though you can't see it, but you do it anyways. Blind faith, walking by blind faith, being grateful for what you have, asking for what it is that you would like to have in your life, right? Manifestation. Being an honorable person, not lying, cheating, stealing, not living by the seven deadly sins as much as you can, right? Nobody's perfect. Redemption is a big one. Absolution, right? Uh, the blood and the wine. Revelations. Understanding the proper evolutionary chart of how it all goes. Knowing our different roles as men and women, right? Understanding that we all have a purpose, whether you want to believe it or not. We all have a reason for being here. That's just how it is. Whether you find out what that is or not, it's on you. But faith is one of those things that we all need. We need it. Because that's the very thing that we're made off of. It's the very reason why we are all here. Right? If you look at Genesis in the Bible, the very first book of the Bible, that will lay it all out for you. I don't have the time on here to lay that out. But what I'm on here to do is I'm on here to display the need for understanding. Right? Because we can't get rid of everybody from a different heritage or culture or background. So what we can do is we can better understand. We can learn from them so we can become more open-minded people. Right? We're going to go to a part 3.